Love you, Linda. Love you.
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing "Oh Happy Day."
One word prayer. Justice, where are you?
Well, hello there. This is Justice Served TV, Michael Bryant. You know what I was doing? I was typing frantically typing to fix the
scroll.
The scroll.
We didn't. What?
Scroll.
Here he is. Okay, so you've got to fit. You're
working
changing
on it.
the scroll.
I'm working
We
on
always forget to change the
I
scroll.
know.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure why.
know?
But let me see.
Well,
if I can-
usually, when it's on your own website, it's the same scroll unless you're having, you're notifying people of stuff. But I love the day that we had Anthony Deb on, and we said he was
That's
an
right.
FBI agent.
They had Michael Easter or somebody
we
else.
call him Michael Easter. Yeah.
Okay, I think I got it. Whew! I think.
Whoa.
Let's see.
Let's see
I
what this
spelled
is.
everything right. Happy Fridelson.
Fridelson,
Okay.
yeah.
Wendi Adelson. Okay,
That's
good.
Right.
So what we've been doing the last few Fridays, and we'll continue to do so up until the new Donna Adelson trial beginning on August 19th, is a look back at some of the key witnesses from the prior trial against Charlie Adelson roughly a year ago when he was convicted in the death of Dan Markel, the Florida State University professor who was killed at his home. Trigger man in prison. Last week we had Luis Rivera, who was the lookout, getaway driver, Latin King buddy of Sigfredo Garcia, who was the trigger man. He never testified in any of the trials. Coming up will be the fourth trial. So we thought, getting ready for this thing, Wendi Adelson clearly, again, will be the focus. Many people think she should be a defendant, and maybe she will be, but she is the daughter of the upcoming defendant, Donna. She is the sister of the prior, now convicted defendant, Charlie. And she's an attorney. She worked with the school in some capacity of some sort. I'm not sure whether that's still happening or not, but this all spirals out of the post-divorce fight between Dan Markel and Wendi Adelson about where the kids are going to live. She wanted to go south.
Right. I mean, it's unbelievable. Right?
She wanted to go south where mommy is.
Yeah, where mom is. Yeah.
And they were in the north where the school is. So that was the rift that spiraled into a plan to kill Dan Markel. So now the questions are, who was involved in the plan? When we get to just before the trial, we'll probably recap some of the specific details as they relate to Donna Adelson. Remember, she was arrested on the jetway heading to Vietnam because after seeing her little baby boy convicted, she needed a cleanse. She needed some time to regroup. So what? They have no extradition in Vietnam? I didn't know that. So they literally arrested her on the jetway. It was amazing. So that's I guarantee you that will be something. I don't know. That's a good question. Is the jury going to? The jury's going to see that as some sort of consciousness of guilt argument.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I guess there's been a bunch of motions filed, on that case, and then they'll be decided. I assume that's going to be one of them at some point, and even a second point and a third point, right?
Yeah. So I'm processing it just on the fly here. Haven't really given it a ton of thought. It certainly goes to consciousness of guilt. But is it overly prejudicial? I don't know. The court's going to have to make a ruling on that.
Right.
I would say it's in. I might limit it in terms because it's quite a bit of video. You don't have to have all of it. She's sitting in the car and she's talking, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff is inadmissible. But the act and the apprehension, I would allow it. I'll allow it. I don't know what you would do, Judge. What would you do?
You just gave me a headache with that all. We all know where that's from. Everybody, that is from Judge Beverly Cannoni.
It goes even further back than that. Anybody remember the claymation fights that used to be on MTV, where they would have celebrity grudge match and they would have claymation people fighting? Mythical because they never really would be fighting. And Miles Lane, who is a legendary boxing referee, was claymated himself, if that's a word, claymated. And he would, you would see these outrageous, it's claymation. And, a head would be ripped off. And Mills Lane would say, I'll allow it. So
I wonder if that's where you pick it up from, like when you're growing
The
up.
I'll allow it goes way back.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be Wendi 1, right? We're
This will
doing
be Wendi 1. We'll take it right
1.
from the start. We've been focusing on the cross of most of these witnesses because that's where the truth lies and also where you get a little more fireworks. But in this case, because it is a witness with limited immunity and a witness that, for all we know, could be up to her neck in this case as a defendant.
Right. She's had told a conspirator. That's why they had to give her immunity.
So you're having the prosecution call her as a key witness, but it's still a little more antagonistic, right? So we're going to start from the very beginning. We will cover Wendi in 2 weeks, not in 2 weeks from now, but over the course of 2 weeks. And we're going to start right now. We're going to begin with, as I suggested, the actual beginning of her testimony. Let me get this set up here. Okay, let me push this button and then I'll push that button. Here we go. Wendi Adelson.
The testimony you're about to give will be true. You may see.
I think with her mannerisms and everything, it's all very important.
Everything.
Ma'am, please say and spell your name.
Wendi Adelson, Wendiadelson.
Where are you from, Ms. Adelson?
I'm originally from Coral Springs, Florida.
And where do you live now?
I currently live in Miami.
How are you employed?
Now kind of part-time. I do asylum work and I fundraise for nonprofit organizations.
Are you an attorney?
By training, yes.
Okay. How long have you been a member of the Florida Bar?
Since I graduated and took the bar in 2006.
Okay, I have to make a comment already. You see how her hair is?
Yes.
One portion forward, one portion back. This is classic TV reporter hair. This is what they're told to do. It creates almost a third dimension. You don't have both. Yeah, you don't have both chunks of your hair forward. You don't have both chunks backward. You have one forward and one back. It's classic, and it may be subtle, but as I pointed out, take a look at the next time you watch some TV reporting.
I usually do it because I have the IFB in one ear. So I cover my IFB with my hair in one ear and then kind of push back with the other.
Okay. So I'm just suggesting she's got this all worked out.
And are you here today pursuant to a subpoena?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And that subpoena confers use and derivative use immunity to, so nothing you say can be used against you in the future.
That is correct.
Okay. That doesn't mean you have full immunity from prosecution, but nothing you say here and nothing derived from it could be used in that prosecution. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding.
Did you know Daniel Markel?
We should stop here
How
right
did
now.
you know?
Let's talk about immunity. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, she has use and derivative use. She does not have transactional immunity. In other words, she does not have immunity from being charged with this crime. It's just that if she says anything here that implicates her, it cannot be used. And if there's anything that derives from an investigation of what she said, from what she is saying on the stand, it cannot be used either. So it's very interesting because sometimes when people go into a grand jury, especially public officers and public figures, they get a use and derivative use immunity. And, that's always explained to them. But if they're actually, I just have to give you a great story, a target. Let's assume they're a target in a grand jury. And they're not given those warnings when they go in and they're like a public officer and they are the target. You should confess everything you've ever done from the beginning of time on, because you will have transactional immunity for every bad thing that you say in front of that grand jury. So immunity is a very, very, very touchy subject. It's a very complicated subject. It's not so easy as you would think it is when we just say, well, I've got use immunity and derivative use immunity, because then the prosecution go back and she says something, they say, well, we could have found this out from another source. Right?
There you go.
Oh,
inevitable discovery. That's right.
There you go.
So just keep that in mind as she's testifying. It's not like when it gets to critical questions, and there will be critical questions like, you were involved in this, well, she's going to say, no, I had nothing to do with it. So this is the weirdest role for somebody to play in this situation. And that's why we keep waiting for the shoe to drop, that they're going to get her on something after her mom goes to trial.
And she can't be charged with perjury for saying no here, by the way.
We were married.
When did you meet Mr. Markel?
We met in the fall of my second year of law school, so fall of 2004.
And where did you meet?
We met in Washington, D.C. He was working there, and I was looking into a summer job in Washington.
When did you get married?
In February of 2006.
And when did you live here in Tallahassee?
We lived in Tallahassee my third year of law school, so from August of 2005 until I think around maybe May or June of 2006. And then we moved to Miami for a year because Danny was interested in working at the University of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He did not get the job at University of Miami, and so we moved back here in 2007 and lived here until 2014.
And where were the two of you employed during the time you lived here in Tallahassee?
I was employed at the FSU Center for Human Rights, and Danny was employed at FSU Law School.
Were you both professors at FSU College of Law?
Yes.
And were you living on Trescott Drive at that time?
When we were married, we lived, I think we rented a house before that, but at some point, maybe in 2008, we moved to Trescott Drive.
And is that the home that he was still living in at the time that he was killed?
That is correct.
Okay, and you were no longer living there, is that correct?
I was no longer living there.
All right, at the time he was killed, you two had children together, yes?
Yes.
And how many children did you have?
We have 2 children.
And what are their ages now?
They are 13 and 14.
What about at the time of their dad's death?
At the time of their dad's death, they were 4 and 3.
When did you separate from Professor Markel?
In the fall of 2012.
Whose decision was it to separate?
It was my decision.
And was part of the reason for the separation the two of you having differing views on how to raise your kids as far as within the Jewish faith?
I mean, it was a small part, but it was part of it.
Okay, that seemed to be something that came up a lot in your communication, so that's why I ask about it. What was the difference of opinion on that?
I mean, when we first met and started dating, Danny wasn't as observant or as religious as he became over time. And so the difference in our perspective on raising kids was about dietary choices and attendance at synagogue, things like that.
So in general, he wanted to raise the children more strictly in terms of the faith than you.
That is correct.
Did you move out of the marital home while Mr. Markel was away on a business trip?
I did, yes.
All right. And did he know that you were moving out when he left for the business trip?
No, he did not.
Where did you go when you left the marital home?
I rented a home in Tallahassee.
Where was that? Do you remember the address?
Aqua Ridge Way.
3303, sound right?
That's right.
Okay. And what was the custody arrangement once you moved out of the marital home?
I mean, in the beginning, until we had a formal custody arrangement, we were just finding ways to share custody. I remember that first weekend his parents came, so I made sure he had the children all weekend while his parents were visiting from Canada. But eventually we had a 50-50 shared custody arrangement.
All right. And do you remember exactly what that looked like? Was it week on, week off, or something more complicated?
It was something more complicated. In the summertime, it was week on, week off. During the weeks, it was I think what they called like a 2-2 split, with Wednesday night being an overnight and then the weekends being every other weekend.
All right, but roughly 50-50.
50-50, but that was the split.
Okay. And I want to show you what's been introduced into evidence, State's Exhibit 56. I know you've had a chance to take a look at this before, but if you'll just kind of come through it and tell me if you recognize it.
Sure.
So those kids are now 14 and 15.
Wow. Benjamin and Lincoln, I think the names are now. And you know what? The kids are always the real victims in this, right?
Sure. Ben wants to smile. Charlie kind of smiling at his
Yeah,
sister.
did you see that? Right.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
So when we say this is 1 and 2, we are covering it in 2 phases, but this is her testimony against Charlie.
Yeah, and as I call it, as the Adelsons turn on one another.
Do you recognize the exhibit?
no matter how much she
Is it
cooperates-
A fair and accurate copy of your
This is
divorce
against her
file?
brother.
It looks like it, yes.
All right. And is it fair to say this was a contentious litigation process that you had with your ex?
It was.
And I want to ask you about a specific filing in there. It's on begins on page 43. And it's in reference to a filing on January 14th of 2013, where you were looking to relocate with the minor children. Do you recall that particular filing?
I recall the filing. You said 43. I'm not sure oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. On the bottom, there should be page numbers for you.
Yes. Yes, I recognize it.
Okay, and that's the filing in reference to your motion for relocation?
Yes.
Okay, and did you file this motion with the intent to not be successful?
I'm sorry, I don't
It's
understand
been
the question.
suggested that you never thought that was going to be successful. Did you?
I
Or
think
not?
I thought there was a small chance that it would be successful, but not very likely, no.
Okay. And weren't you thinking, well, maybe Danny would be happy working somewhere else because he's mentioned applying elsewhere, so maybe he'll allow the relocation? Were you
Well,
thinking
he
that?
and I talked about the relocation. So when we talked about it, he thought, well, if I can live nearby in Miami, that might work. And then I could commute to FSU. I didn't mean for him to leave FSU, but he wanted to leave FSU at some point. So that
So
was just a matter of time.
So you thought it might be successful.
Sure. I mean, I thought it was possible, but not likely.
All right. And page 46 of that document, paragraph E references the job offer. The wife also desires to relocate to South Florida in order to provide a better quality of life for the children by increasing their access to close family and providing more stability and consistency. Who is the close family in South Florida?
The close family would have been my mom and my dad and my brother.
And which brother is that?
My brother that's here today.
Charlie Adelson?
That's correct.
Okay.
That was
What's your mom's
really,
name?
wait a second.
My
Wait,
mom's name
wait,
is Donna.
wait. My brother that's
here today.
today.
Can you point
That-
out the defendant?
Okay. You mean the defendant on the
Yeah.
stand on trial for murder? I mean, that was, I never caught that. It's interesting when you rewatch these, you see that, but oh, wow. Wow.
She's slick. I'm telling you.
She's
She's
slick,
very,
boy.
very smooth. So yeah, the family they moved closer to, my mom, Donna, and my dad. Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah.
Which brother's that? The brother who's here
Well,
today?
Yeah. Just no other brothers. So, or they'd probably be on trial too.
Donna Adelson.
Yes, that's
What
her
a-
name.
What about your dad?
My dad's name is Harvey.
And where did Donna and Harvey live back in the time frame between 2012 and 2016?
They lived at the home I grew up in Coral Springs.
And how far do they live away from you currently as we sit here today?
Currently, depends on Miami traffic, but anywhere between 15 minutes and an hour.
Right. And what kind of a relationship do you have with your parents as we sit here today?
I have a good relationship with my parents.
And has that always been the case?
I would say so.
Can you describe the relationship that your mom has with your boys?
I think it's very loving. I think she's a very dedicated grandmother.
She spends a lot of time with them, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
And when they were little and you first moved there after Danny's death, how much time was she spending with them?
When I moved there after Danny's death in 2014,
How much time was your mom spending with the boys?
I mean, we were all living together at that point. So, I mean, we were spending every day together.
How were your parents employed? Are they retired now?
They're retired now.
What are they retired from?
My dad was a dentist, and my mom used to coordinate, kind of be like an office administrator at his practice.
And did she write the checks at the practice? Paychecks?
Yes. She handled all the bookkeeping.
What was the name of the practice?
The name changed over the years, but probably the name when they retired was the Adelson Institute.
And were
For
your
mental
parents
health.
wealthy at the time that your husband was murdered?
Know what that is?
I mean, my parents worked their whole lives to support us, right? So I think the business did well for a period of time.
About $2 million in profit each year between 2013 and 2016.
They
Sound right?
never talked to me about money, so I have no idea how much the business made at any given point.
Did you discuss your marital problems with your mom at all?
I did, yeah.
Okay. What about the resulting legal issues? Was your mom read in on those things?
I mean, I definitely updated her about the results of the relocation when that petition got denied, but not kind of the ins and outs of every part of our divorce.
What about your dad? Was he invested in your divorce status?
I think the same as my mom, just worried about me and worried about the boys.
What about your brother? Did he take an interest in the ins and outs of your divorce?
No, not really.
Did he need to
No,
protect you
not
from Dan
really.
Markel?
No, I mean, I don't think I need protection.
Were you physically in danger from Dan Markel?
No, I wasn't in danger.
Did the litigation revolving around the divorce and the subsequent issues that arose, did that impact your family back in South Florida?
I mean, only to the extent that I think they felt bad for what I was going through, but
I want to show you an exhibit that I've marked as State's Exhibit 59. Sorry, 57, Your Honor. You've seen this one before as well. Does that one look familiar?
I don't remember it, to be honest. It's from 10 years ago.
Take a moment to look through it.
Sure.
When you're done, I'll let opposing counsel take a look at it, but go ahead and let us know when you're done reviewing it.
Whenever Georgia Kappelman walks, it's like there's a microphone on the floor. It's just like.
It's like a cat and mouse game, though, with her and Wendi Adelson. You notice that? I mean,
She's just so measured, every answer, just smooth. What's wrong, Charlie?
getting a little hot under the collar there.
Hot under the collar. He's like, "Oy, thanks, sis." Okay, as fascinating as that is, let's see if she can pick up where she actually says something. Hold on, there we go. Those are some heavy footsteps. I'm sorry.
I don't think I responded. I think they're just emails from my mom to me. No?
Okay. Mostly all from your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. And the email address says, I think it's something like Wendi Harvey. Can you tell from the content that it's your mom typing rather than your dad?
Yeah, the email's Donna Harvey, my two parents' names. So they've been married over 50 years. So they have a joint email address. So it's from both of them.
Okay. So what I want to draw your attention to is page 2 of that exhibit, that first paragraph there above the word response. Did you have an
Oh, big
opportunity
sigh.
to read that?
I read it real fast,
Kind of
but
scanned.
I can read it.
And what I want to draw your attention to is specifically the part that reads, your father has made numerous trips by plane for weekends and changing the the patient schedules around so he can continue to spend significant time with the children. Did you?
Are you objecting, Mr. Roush?
I just didn't hear it get admitted into evidence.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move this exhibit into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's 57.
Wait a second. He just
Then-
objected
so
to the
that-
Then
side
why
of
make
the
a big deal? So he's making an objection based on just the process. You know,
Right.
they're reading through these emails. Let's make
They
sure
should
they're
be
in
must.
evidence. And then, well, I got no objection anyway. So that's just, I think it's kind of like a derailing objection, you know, just to be a kind of a dick, just to kind of keep her, you know, Kappelman from feeling too comfortable. Got to throw a jab in there every now and then.
Isn't that paragraph going into detail about how the issues surrounding your divorce and litigation is financially impacting in a negative way your parents' business?
That's what my mom says here. Yes.
Okay, and it also says, additionally, this loss of income affects my family because my older brother, also a dentist, purchased the practice from my father in mid-July 2012. He has a monthly payment to make to my father based on the sale of the practice. It isn't fair to him to have decreasing monthly income statements from the practice due to my parents spending so much time here in Tallahassee. So this is an argument that your mom is proposing, right, to help you, give you an idea of what might persuade the courts to allow the relocation. Do you agree with that?
Yes, that's what she was doing. Yes.
Okay, and she's indicating that both your parents as well as your brother have suffered financially as a result of you not being able to relocate.
Yes.
Okay. And on page, do you have page numbers in the bottom right corner of your exhibit?
I have them in the top so I can see.
Okay, so well, let me look. Give me a moment. So it'll be the second email in your packet, page 1 of 3.
Michael, can I ask you a legal question?
No. Hey, before we do, and I almost forgot this thought. Remember, these are, you know, communications between Donna Adelson, Wendi Adelson, and the father may or may not have been involved. These are going to be critical in Donna's trial because they're going to start to establish that Donna had her own interest in having the kids down there, right? Even if it was just somehow part of the, well, it helps the dental practice because we don't have to be back in Tallahassee so much, whatever. But it starts to create this understanding that Donna had motivation to have everything, the kids, down south. Okay.
Well, that was actually going to my question, because my question is, this is for Wendi Adelson's motion that she didn't think was going to be granted
Right.
about that where she had to remain and where the kids had to remain. Why would the mom, for our viewers know, have standing or why would Wendi have standing to talk about the mom and the dad suffering financially in a custody battle? And maybe they don't, and maybe that's why the judge denied it. But then you're right, then that becomes a motivation for a separate motive for the mother to have a motive for murder. So maybe in a roundabout way, maybe this helps Wendi.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, this is a motion for relocation. And what is the court's only concern in family law? The best interest of the children, right? So that they're looking at everything. And if somehow they could construe the grandparents being more available and the financial well-being of the brother and the family also being optimized, who knows? I mean, the court certainly could consider that. Would it, you know, should it rule the day? Probably not. But it's going to be one of the factors. And Wendi, as she suggested, said, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be granted anyway, but gave it a shot.
Okay, do you see that?
I see that page.
Okay, and there's a rest of your life highlighted or underlined in the center and in bold. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, right before that, it reads, however, the rest of your life and consequently Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's will be affected by how well you can perform/act before July 31st. You need to be a good actress you can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. Who's Gibbers?
Oh,
Gibbers, she's referring-
Michael, Brian,
Yes,
talk
yes.
to me.
They haven't beaten the Adelson family yet. I mean, yeah, it's kind of damning, and it fits with her testimony, which seems, as I've said, measured and smooth, and she's acting as this independent. I'm just here to tell you the facts. I have nothing to do with what's going on with my brother, who's that man sitting over there. This is a mom who knows her kid.
Best actress. You can be the best actress ever. How does a jury react when they hear that your own mother is saying, "Look, you can be the best actress ever. I've seen you act." Okay. How does a jury take that?
And the family's not beaten yet. I mean, it's amazing in retrospect what you've said and how it affects some pretty serious issues, like, I don't know, criminal matters.
Danny.
And was Gibbers a name he went by, or just something you called him behind his back?
Gibbers was a silly nickname that I gave him during the divorce proceedings when he was being pretty scary and threatening, and it kind of made me feel less scared of him.
Okay, so not something you called him to his face.
No.
But that was a word that was only used to describe him.
Yes, it was a nickname.
Okay. So in this, again, your mom is referencing how everyone's life is being affected by this relocation, including your brother, Charlie. Do you agree with that?
That is what she said. Yes.
All right. Is your mom overprotective of you?
Yes.
All right. And is it fair to say she's, a little on the controlling side?
I don't think she's controlling, but she's definitely overprotective.
Did she ever try to micromanage your life?
Maybe. Yeah.
Wow,
Did she
this
have
is
an
damning
interest in who
testimony
you were
for when-
dating and who you weren't dating and who you should be dating when you were
I
single?
think she was usually disappointed that I wasn't dating more.
Yeah, I mean, this whole, this attempt to this is just throwaway. No, we get the
No.
picture about Donna Adelson. She was
Right.
a hard ass. She was like a helicopter mom, but the helicopter was a Cobra, like a combat military helicopter.
And you can smile all you want. Oh, yeah, can you overprotect?
Oh, just that's just my mom,
Oh, with my dentally whitened teeth.
Oh yeah. Well, the family should have good teeth.
Okay. For example, isn't it true that she would not let you drive to and from Tallahassee to South Florida?
Well, I used to drive before I had the boys, but they were young and she preferred to come with me and give me some extra support.
So what would that look like if you were going to take a trip to South Florida? Would they come up here and get you, or?
No, sometimes I would go myself with the kids, but I was breastfeeding both of them. So it usually looked like me breastfeeding a child while I entertained the other in the Okahumpka rest stop. So it was a lot. It was helpful to have some backup.
All right. And so that time frame you'd be referencing is like the 2013 time frame, because not around the time of Danny's death, you wouldn't have still been breastfeeding, would you?
If Lincoln was 3, no, I would have stopped maybe the year before.
Okay.
So maybe
was it
2012, 2013.
Okay. And wasn't it true that around the time of the death, they were still doing this practice where they would prefer to drive you to and from South Florida?
I mean, not every time, but sometimes.
Okay. And would your mom sometimes enlist your brother Charlie to convince you to do certain things in your personal life?
Can't really think of an example of that.
Well, dating Dave was a big one on some of the materials I had.
Yeah, people like Dave.
All right. And your mom really liked Dave.
Yeah, everyone liked Dave, but we were just friends.
Where's Dave?
Okay. Did she try? So she would try to get Charlie to convince you to date a certain person.
I don't think she was getting Charlie to convince me to date Dave. I think everyone liked Dave.
All right. And would she try to get Charlie to convince you to do certain things as far as your professional life? What jobs to take?
No, I don't
She
think
didn't
so.
do that. Would she try to get Charlie to do certain things like advise you on investment decisions, whether or not you were going to buy a house, for example?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. Danny and I made that decision together.
Once you had left Dan and you were living separately, did you look into purchasing a home here in Tallahassee?
I did, yeah.
And did your brother Charlie convince you not to do that?
I don't remember him convincing me not to. The only reason why I didn't was because I was waiting on the money from Danny from the settlement and he didn't pay it, so I couldn't afford the house.
And your mom didn't want you to buy the house, did she?
That's not true. My parents were looking to buy a house in Tallahassee as well.
Okay. Did you have, strike. Generally speaking, does your mom manipulate the personal lives of her children?
No.
Is your mom, like, if she's really upset about something or worked up about something, is that something that your brother Charlie's going to hear a lot about? Who's going to hear more of it, you or Charlie?
Well, if my mom's upset with me, probably Charlie. And if she's upset with Charlie, probably me.
Okay, so do you get a lot of that? Do you hear a lot about, let's go back. Let's go to before the murder. Did you get a lot of Donna just giving you an earful about what Charlie needs to be doing?
Probably at some point.
What was Charlie doing with his personal life? What did his personal life look like
At what point?
before the murder?
I mean, at what period of time before?
All of them. Wasn't it just a revolving door of girlfriends?
Right, but my mom didn't complain to me about that.
She didn't mind that with him.
I don't understand the question.
She didn't mind if he went from girl to girl to girl. That was acceptable.
She didn't really weigh in on it, no.
Who talked to her more, you or Charlie?
Charlie.
A lot more, right?
Yeah.
At the time of Dan Markel's murder, were your parents extremely angry with Dan?
At that point, no. They were in a much better place.
I want to direct your attention to an interview that was conducted on, I think this was your law enforcement interview. So July 18th, 2014. And I'm specifically for court and counsel looking at page 27, lines 11 and 12.
And this was the day of the murder.
Yeah, that's right.
So she's talking with cops on that day.
I've got it open to the page, but you can flip around if you need to familiarize yourself.
Sure.
And I'll take that exhibit if you want.
So this clearly relates to whether the parents were still mad. The grandparents were still mad at Dan Markel.
Do you want me to flip through or just look at this one page?
If you'll just look at that one page, well, I mean, not that reminder. 27. Let me get to where you are. So page 27 there, lines 11 and 12, and I've got it highlighted for you.
Yes,
Says, Ms. Adelson, my parents are, very angry toward him. Is that true?
Was
Isn't
that
that
true?
what you said? Your parents were very angry toward Dan.
Can I read the rest of the sentence?
Sure.
So I say, my parents are very angry towards him, but even when they're around my kids, they would never say a bad word about my kid's father.
And then on page 288, line 24
She knows his
through page
transcripts.
289.
I mean, that's a distinction that doesn't even matter in the context of this questioning. The questioning is, were your parents upset with him
Right.
at or about the time he was killed? No, they were in a better place. What, South Florida? They were in a better place then. Well, here you are telling the cops that they were angry. Not did they talk badly about them in front of the kids? That's irrelevant. But she thought, that'll help soften the blow of what's clearly a contradiction between the testimony she just gave and what she told the cops the day of the murder.
Right, the day of the murder, but she knows her statements, right? She knows the transcripts here, and so she's trying to say to the jury, well, if my parents were really angry at him, they would have been, they would have been one of those grandparents that would have been bad-mouthing in front of the kids.
Yeah.
But all that means is that they loved the kids and wanted the kids. That actually gives them more of a motive.
Of course. But, the first part of that sentence, I know, again, she's like, can I read the rest? Yeah, knock yourself out. That doesn't really help that much.
Yeah. Or against Donna. I shouldn't say them. I should have said Donna because there's been no allegation against Harvey.
Yeah, and that's true. This statement, it did put them together as one, but it's going to be obviously more important as to Donna.
One, and that's going to be, yeah. Didn't you say, you know, it's like my parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else? Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
And that's because he hurt you, right?
And I was saying that in the context of talking to law enforcement for hours and hours and trying to help them figure out who might be responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Who did you tell them might be responsible?
Well, I told them many, many people, but are you asking about this particular moment right here?
You told them your family might be responsible.
Or
didn't
potentially
you?
someone to do with a former student or his current girlfriend. I mentioned lots of people that I thought could be responsible.
Including
Okay.
your parents.
And of the lots of people that could have been responsible, your family was one.
Yep.
Because they might have done this thinking it would help you. And that's what happened, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Family had your ex-husband
that
killed.
that
to try
right
to-
there, that's a change that I see of
Yep.
that's a little bit of a we've got a little
It's a poker tell.
Wolverine. It's a poker tell. That's a change of a face and a mannerism right there.
As Miss Kappelman was walking back away from the witness, you could just see her, her head tilted, and she's, processing. Okay, where do I go with it? I don't understand. She just has that, that wilting violet kind of thing. She's an attorney. I don't care if she's been practicing recently, if the stuff she's done, uses her litigation brain. You don't, as I've told folks who go to law school, you'll never think the same again, right?
Mhm.
And she's sitting there right now as an attorney as much as anything else, and she's processing.
Help you, didn't they?
No, that's completely untrue.
Back to the divorce, the petition where Danny is responding to your petition for the motion to relocate. Are you familiar with that filing, or do you need to take a look at it?
I need to take a look at it.
All right, it's going to be page 79 through 101, and this is back to our exhibit 56.
Okay, that'll take a while, and I don't blame her for that. I would look at it too.
Absolutely.
It's 30 pages of excitement, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's very adamantly objecting to your relocation, right? On page 82, it says the sole stated reason the wife seeks to relocate is so that she can be closer to her parents. Was being near your parents the sole reason that you wanted to relocate?
No.
It wasn't the sole reason stated in your petition?
It wasn't the sole reason stated in my petition, and it wasn't the sole reason that he and I talked about before I filed the motion to relocate.
Why was he so adamant and so confident that this was the real reason you wanted to be down there?
I think there's a lot of things in these pleadings that are not true. So just because it says something doesn't make it true.
Sure, but did he know that your mom was just grinding on this issue of trying to get you down there?
He would have had no idea.
That wouldn't have been known to him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Jerry Kappelman go.
But he was accusing you in these pleadings of all kind of stuff, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's true, but hiding financial assets, failing to disclose things, kidnapping his kids in the middle of, his business trip, all those sorts of things, right?
Yes, he said lots of things.
All right. And you said a lot of things too. There's filings going both ways that are pretty venomous. Would you agree with that?
I would not agree with that.
Yours were pleasant.
I'm not saying divorce filings are pleasant, but mine were not venomous.
Not venomous. Yeah, let's look at the facts, just the basic raw facts. She did move with the kids when he was away on a business trip, and he did not know that was happening. Okay?
That's called
Now,
kidnapping.
That's kidnapping. So, don't try and play it off as this coquettish little, whimsical thing. You took the kids and you took off when he wasn't around and he didn't know about it.
Okay. Did your mother, Donna Adelson, review the filing in which Dan Markel is accusing you of this theft and all this stuff?
I don't remember if she did.
What about the one where Dan Markel is asking that your mother not be permitted to have unsupervised visitation with the kids?
My mom never saw that because after he filed that, he then asked my parents to babysit the kids. My mom baked him banana bread gave him a hug goodbye. So there was nothing truthful about that pleading that he filed, and my mom never saw it.
Why do you think he filed that?
Just
He
throw
was
up
really
here.
angry at me
It's
for
just so syrupy sweet. It just makes me gag.
being him.
Okay, so he didn't really want to limit your mom's visitation with the kids.
No,
And
he
that's
asked for her to
evidenced.
babysit after he filed that.
Evidenced by the banana bread. And
I love banana bread.
so she didn't even know about that filing.
She never knew about it.
Okay. And when she laid all those options out in that email to you about other options that you could take to secure the relocation, as far as bribing, remember that? Converting the Christian children to Christianity, remember that suggestion?
I sure do.
Okay. What did she put in there that she viewed as your most non-negotiable and most important part of your divorce?
I don't know. Do you have something I can see?
States Exhibit 57.
I'm guessing it's relocation.
You know, the problem is she's laughing so much. There's nothing funny about this. The father of her children, her ex-husband, was assassinated in his garage, okay, on the phone, all right, where he should feel safe. And she's smiling and smirking and talking about banana bread. And this is why people hate her. This is why people absolutely
And
hate her.
Danny, that was Danny, and she's just, it's just an odd affect, and people do wonder why she's not sitting at the table with that guy. Oh yeah, her brother.
Yeah, but her mother, she's killing her mother for the mother. This stuff going into the mother's case, we haven't gotten there yet. When we talk about the mother's case and we go through all the motions, by the way, that have been filed, we're not going to talk about those today. This stuff is murder to her mother's case.
Oh yeah, and this will be revisited at that trial in just a few weeks.
Is page 1. Page 1, paragraph 2.
Page 1.
I'm betting on relocation.
So you want me to read
Final
what
answer.
she said here?
I want you to answer the question. What was the most important part?
Of the divorce for my mom.
Yes.
It says here that for her it was relocation.
All
You
right.
win.
And did
Winner.
you have 2
Winner.
8-hour
Chicken
mediations
dinner.
in your divorce?
We had 2 very long mediations. I don't remember exactly how long they were, but they
Did
felt
they
like a very
result
long
in a
time.
resolution?
No.
Was Mr. Markel seeking to depose your mom as part of the divorce?
I don't remember that.
Do you know if it ever happened?
I don't think it happened. I don't remember it.
Was the prospect of that upsetting to your mom?
I don't think so. I don't remember it. So I don't remember talking with her about it or
Did your mom call Dan any disparaging names around this time frame?
well, I just read them in the emails, but I
Okay.
don't remember them independently.
Let's
Okay.
hear them.
Did she call him an asshole,
Yes.
a narcissist, a
Yes.
bully,
Yes.
religious zealot,
Yes.
bastard?
That I don't remember.
Page 5.
Okay.
Oh, look at he's smiling. Charlie's smiling. Like he thinks
Is
this
it
is
page 5
cute.
from the first
It's
email?
funny. His
Yes,
mom had
we'll
such
just
pet
go through
names.
by the physical pages.
I see. Yes.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
Yes.
Fucker?
Yes.
Charlie was trying to hide his.
But in all the
Amusement.
filings made on your behalf by the different lawyers that you had, and all of the emails that your mom sent, he was never described as abusive.
I mean, he was described as emotionally abusive. Yes.
Can you show me where he was described as emotionally abusive in any
stop
of those
one
filings?
second.
Not by my
For
mom.
lawyers,
Yes.
for us lawyers, when you say with all the attorneys that you had that made the filings, it starts sounding, I mean, the worst thing that a lawyer can do is get a client who calls you and has gone through like 7 attorneys or 5 attorneys, like
The Sarah Boone syndrome.
yeah, like Sarah Boone syndrome. because that usually indicates that you can't develop a working relationship with the client. And I don't mean control over the client, but the
But
client
just-
will not listen to you.
Just
in
a
any way.
functioning relationship.
Right.
Yeah. So as I watch her, the only thing that's missing is this a hair flip. I mean,
Like Miss Piggy.
there you go.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah, that's that is just the classical coquettish move.
But in the pleadings,
Okay, show me that.
it's going to take me a while to find it.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
knock yourself out.
it's
you want me to-
not in there, but you can get back to me.
Well,
with it.
it is in there.
Objection, Your Honor. The comment, she's not testifying.
Hold on, please. Bro.
Would
Okay.
you have to review the whole file in order to find that, or could you give us a starting point of which filing it might be located in?
It might be under the petition to relocate. It might be under the initial divorce proceedings. It wouldn't be in emails from my mom, but it would take a while to find it. It might be in the depositions.
Okay. Did you view yourself as being stuck here in Tallahassee once the relocation was denied?
I didn't. I mean, I had a really nice life here. I did not view myself as being stuck.
Would you please turn to page 176 in that exhibit in front of you?
Where you will see that you said you were stuck in Tallahassee.
I think it's highlighted for you.
What an interesting dynamic with the family. It's always been fascinating because, Donna is an overbearing mom.
Right.
Did you describe yourself in that filing as being stuck in Tallahassee?
I don't see it. You said it was highlighted, but there's nothing highlighted.
Okay. 176. My page. I didn't highlight it for you. Okay. Just a moment.
I see the word stuck. I found it.
Okay. So did you describe, at least in one occasion, being stuck in Tallahassee?
No, can I read the sentence?
Sure.
So it says, the husband has made it difficult for the wife with her colleagues at her current position due to his statements and actions. And the husband's intent is to relocate to a larger area at some point. So the wife is merely stuck in Tallahassee until the husband decides that the time is right for him to leave.
All right.
Meaning-
And had he accepted a job anywhere else by the time that he was murdered?
No, he hadn't yet been offered a job, but he was always looking.
Okay.
I
So
think
he
she
was
just
just
said
going to
she was
move and
stuck.
just let you
Yeah,
have
the
the kids
question,
at that
the
point?
question, clarifying, and maybe it'll come up. This was some report of some sort, right? It's a third person statement taking in what this person, this witness, Wendi Adelson, told that person, and he's saying Markel had been looking for jobs, wanted to move to a bigger city, but she was stuck. So it wasn't the report writer's impression. He obviously got that, or she got that, from discussing it with Wendi Adelson, but I don't think counsel has made that connection. You got to put that being stuck in her mind, not in the mind of the person writing.
He
the
probably
report.
would have done what I did, which is have a conversation and see if it was a place that made sense for both of us to live.
And would you have moved to wherever he got a great job and started a new life there?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. Did you like Tallahassee?
I did.
And you said, I think you did say this, but let me clarify. Was your mom aware of the order denying relocation?
My mom was aware of the order denying
And
relocation.
what about your brother, Charlie? Was he aware of that as well?
I'm
If you
sure
know?
my mom would have said something to him.
All right. So did your mom suggest any ways that you might coerce Dan Markel to let you move with the kids to South Florida?
Yes, I think we talked about that before.
We did. And for this, I'm referring back to those emails. And in particular, the bribe. So another bribe to get him to allow relocation. I'm on page 5 of the first email for the defense. Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets so that he can fly back and forth, right? So you're going to potentially offer this big monetary benefit that would allow him to fly back and forth to work. Is that the idea?
I never said that I was going to do any of that.
Okay, was that the idea that your mom had?
That was the idea.
All right, and the amount of the bribe is going to be, or was at least discussed as being $1 million. Is that right?
That is what
Wow.
Okay, and did you agree with that?
No.
Would that have worked?
I have no idea if it would have worked, but
You think?
So you got Donna laying this out there, and Wendy says no, allegedly. That's just so disconnected from reality, and it's so dismissive of the father. You don't mind, right? You can just fly back and forth. What's the big deal? Here's the money for the plane tickets. I would never do that, ever.
Yeah. And we have already gone over as a run up to this the Mr. Lacoste, who we love, right?
Yes, the former boyfriend of Wendi Adelson.
Wendi, who hopefully after this trial's over we can get on. But I think he's the one who said that Charlie, he had this conversation 5 days before Markel died, that Charlie had looked into hiring a hitman for about $15,000. That's a lot less than $1 million. Right? I just
true.
see the disparity of the information. The disparity of the money is certainly pretty big here.
Well, that is
motive.
interesting. You can that's quite the bargain.
Right.
If they're willing to spend $1 million and they can get away with $15K, that's a huge upside. I don't know.
It's a big motive. That adds to why your motive may be it's just cheaper to hire a hitman, and that there's that famous line about Wendi Adelson acknowledged that Charlie gifted her television and joked that it was cheaper than hiring a hitman or something. I'm not sure, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you don't put hitman into your family conversation.
No, and you don't usually say bribe either.
Bribe.
You got $1 million bribe. You got hitmen that cost more than TVs. This is clearly a screwed up family. Let's pick up a few more minutes of this.
He might have taken $1 million to let his kids go.
well, he wasn't letting his kids go. He would have moved to South Florida and he would have commuted back and forth to his job. So maybe.
Well, then why wasn't it offered?
Because I didn't want to do it.
All right. What about the idea that you could try to threaten Dan to convert the kids to Christianity so that they can fit into the Bible Belt here in Tallahassee? Is that something your mom suggested in these emails?
My mom did suggest that.
Okay. And specifically, this is on page 7 of the exhibit. Let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church. Have a picture made of them in front of the church, all that kind of thing. That's what your mom suggested at one time?
She did, yes.
Okay. And did you do any of those things?
No, I don't even think I responded to it.
Do you know whether the defendant, your brother Charlie, was supportive of the plan to convert them or pose as converting them to Christianity?
I have no idea. I don't think he was particularly involved in this round of my mom's emails.
On page 11 of the exhibit, there's an indication from your mom that Charlie at least has discussed this with her and maybe is somewhat supportive. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance that would show Jibbers that he's, all caps and bold, not in control. So it just seems like your mom was pretty extreme about this situation of getting you relocated. Can you agree with that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
How
Charlie
extreme?
was at least consulted on it or had offered some information about it.
Well, that was my mom's rendition, so I don't know if that's what actually happened or that was her perception.
You know,
Sure.
she's
Were
silly.
you involved in the effort to consult a lawyer about the bribe and whether that was going to be legal?
I wasn't the lawyer consulted in that.
No. Were you involved in consulting a lawyer with your
No.
mom? Okay. Do you know for sure if any financial offer was or was not made to Dan Markel?
I couldn't say for sure if they made it to Danny without me knowing, but I don't think so.
Is that something they would do, is try to negotiate with him behind your back or deal with
Objection.
the situation behind your back?
I don't think so. I think I would have known. Danny probably would have told me.
But you definitely didn't extend any of these offers or threats.
No.
When was the divorce final?
The summer of 2013.
Okay, this is a very good spot to stop as they switch over to some other stuff. Boy, I'll tell you, Mother Donna, busy with the ideas. She's got all kinds of plan A, plan B. So the question for the jury is, in this trial, whether that slops over onto Charlie. Obviously, they found him guilty. To what degree it was based on Donna's plans, I don't know. But in Donna's trial, these plans are front and center.
Right. Now, when you're looking at this is setting the stage for Donna's trial. And I guess that, and we'll probably hear more about it when we do our lead up to this, we're going to have that bump, right? That the FBI sends up at the restaurant that really, in my opinion, coordinated or connected all of Donna's plans to Charlie. Just that one little incident that we'll hear about next time. We'll talk about it more. But boy, when I'm listening to this and thinking about Donna Adelson's trial, it's like, woo.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Wendi telling the same story. It'll be interesting to see if she puts some different spin on it because, it's her mom sitting over there now, not her brother. I don't know. She's just a fascinating character to me. And
Not much about Harvey, though. Interesting when you're listening to this. Very
no,
he is.
I picture him as the husband who just kind of he does what he does and stays divorced, as it were, from Donna. He just does his thing. She has her own problems. She's in charge of her own thing, and he's been working until the point he retired. He's just not involved at all. I can see that. It's very believable.
Right. Very believable here. So, been very interesting when you look back and in hindsight and hear all this. But Georgia Kappelman, who initially, when I first heard her on the first trial, I thought, well, she's kind of low key. She's right between the eyes with these questions.
Yeah, and it's so funny because she asks very straightforward questions. Well, isn't it true you felt stuck? And no, I never. Okay, page 32 of the, it's
good lawyer. Great.
I'm
lawyer.
actually surprised that Wendi, an attorney, isn't a little more wishy-washy about something like that. You felt like you were stuck. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know. That might be a strong word, but certainly we were torn. I mean, something to water it down, but a flat no just then blows up in your face.
Right. Absolutely up in her face. Right. Yeah.
All right. So next week we'll have another Fridelson Friday, and we'll listen to more of Wendi as we cruise toward August 19th. Jury selection begins. That's a Tuesday in Tallahassee. So
right. And before that, we will do a full lead up to Donna Adelson, and we'll also go through all the motions that have been filed, some have been decided, and all. We're going to do it here because this is our different focus. So.
Yeah, and we know there's going to be all kinds of stuff from the prior trials that both defense counsel and then to some degree the prosecution may want limited. So those motions in limine, it's going to be a high stack. So we'll weed through it and go through the ones that are most important. And then we'll be down there for a portion of this trial. We'll see how it plays out. Love to see her on the stand. I just think she is such an important witness. Her mom just 20 feet away or less. That courtroom is not huge. It's going to be fascinating. So anyway.
Let me see if she wears the same dress for the third trial.
Well, and don't forget the hair. Part of it in front of the shoulder, part of it in back of the shoulder. Okay, that's classic. Okay, so I guess have a great weekend.
Don't go anywhere yet because all of you have been watching this. We have to ask you to hit that subscribe button. All right, get us to 30. We just hit 25. Get us to 30,000. The like button, the share button, and the notify. So let me go through it again. It's at the bottom there. Big button. Subscribe, like, share, notify. That gets us into the Adelson algorithm, and then YouTube pushes us out so you can see more of us if that's what you want to see.
All righty. Well, have a great weekend. In the meantime, I'm Michael Bryant. Try to do the right thing.
Bye.